Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here in our downtown studios on East Oakland. Stop in sometime. You can see this sausage made anytime you want. We're going to go across town here in Lansing, although we could go to one of their 36 offices around the country. And we're going to spend a little time with Nick Oertel. He is in charge of M&As, basically. He's the expert at Foster, one of our tremendous law firms here in the Lansing area, and like I said, all over the place. So, Nick, with that, let's talk a little bit about the current landscape of
Absolutely.
Of M&A, mergers and acquisitions, which is kind of your area of expertise.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, thanks for having me. It's been an interesting time with M&A work just due to COVID. As probably most people can imagine, activity was very slow during kind of the first part of 2020, but we've seen in our practice quite a bit of an uptick in the last part of last year, and then working into 2021 here, we've seen an uptick. So our expectation is that activity will probably get back to what it was pre-pandemic. And I suspect part of that is maybe a lot of the business owners that were possibly sitting on the fence, knowing that they would want to sell at some point. I think that from what I've experienced talking with business owners is now that they've gotten through the pandemic, it's really kind of put their priorities straight. They've survived the challenges that went with that, or at least close to surviving it. And now they've transitioned to pulling the trigger on either buying a business or expanding through the purchase of another business.
Nick, let's talk a little bit about your M&A group there at Foster.
Yeah, and I'll deflect some of the praise away from me in the intro. You said it was that I was the expert at Foster Swift. It's true, I am an expert, but there are many experts, and I think that's one of the things that makes Foster Swift unique. Is we're a 100 lawyer firm, and there's a good number of us at Foster Swift who spend a predominant amount of our time dealing with M&A work. And that's really important if you are either buying or selling a business. And what I mean by that is it's something where you want to make sure you're working with the right team. And in my eyes, the team that you should have in your corner to help you through that is a good law firm and a good accounting firm. And the reason for that is buying a business or selling a business is something that most business owners don't do frequently. So they're not familiar with the different pitfalls and issues that they need to be aware of. So that's where we come in as a counselor and advisor to a business owner, is we want to make sure, number one, that they're getting the deal that they're expecting to get, but also that they're not walking into any issues that they frankly just don't know about. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of areas where you could run into issues if you don't have the proper guidance, whether it's tax issues. Are you structuring the deal in the most efficient way? It could be employment issues. It's really dependent on, to some extent, the nature of the business that's being bought or sold. But there are issues that overarch any type of business. And again, that would be tax, employment, IP, and then of course, individual issues depending on the business. So it's important to have the right team. And the great thing about Foster Swift is we have experts in all of those areas. I am not an expert in every single area. I'm an expert in many of the areas, but in our team, we have that expertise to tie in the people that need to be tied in to make sure that, again, the client's taken care of and that risk is managed appropriately.
So we've been operating, as you know, in kind of an odd theater here with COVID-19. Tell me about special issues that have existed with transactions during that period.
Yeah. So I think most of the issues go to due diligence. And probably everyone listening is familiar with the general concept of due diligence. Due diligence has an important role in either buying or selling a business. And it's basically the process of doing the investigation into the nature of the business. What contracts do they have? What labor issues do they have? Reviewing their IP and their tax situation. And what COVID has done is it's made that process a little bit longer in some instances, just due to the issues with everyone experience work from home and other issues, just kind of a little bit of inefficiencies and that process of diligence has taken longer. And then I'll say as well that, that PPP money is a lot of businesses, most businesses probably obtain PPP money. And there's issues that are COVID specific with making sure that that is handled correctly. So if that money hasn't been forgiven, it's required to be escrowed. So there's issues with working with the lenders to make sure that just all of the pieces that need to be done to properly protect both parties occur. So those are some of the unique things that we've seen in the COVID world.
Now, it's been a little crazy, and we wanted to talk about tax issues and buying and selling a business. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. How do people get a hold of you, Nick?
Sure. Foster Swift website's probably the best place. My email and phone number's on there. So just check out the website and definitely reach out if you have questions or comments.
All right, Foster Swift. Nick Oertel, thanks so much for joining us, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
and
guys.
There's almost everything you need to whet your tongue and your enthusiasm for M&A. Get a hold of them. We'll be right back. I'm Chris Holman. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network.